Now, excuse the terrible mess that my bedroom's in, but the sim frame isn't going to do too well there at all. So I'm going to have to set it up on the projector or build something using that spare TV. I think that's a 50-inch. Really be good to triple monitor it, but I don't have a spare triple monitor set, so let's see what we can do. Any of you people who have visited my house before will know it's a massive hoard hole and it's hard to find space to put anything now. There's 10 arcade games in the living areas. There's a projector in here, but that coffee table, that's looking like a good target to remove and sit the sim right here. So I have amassed all the parts together that I think I need for this project. I probably need some either flat wood or some flat aluminium. See how I go, but we've got some angle brackets, we've got some trolley wheels, we've got the sim bits, we've got some aluminium solar panel framings, a bit like Unistrut. Should be right. You can either weld it or bolt it with those. I have this Recaro seat I was going to use in the Sigma once I got it recovered, but it looks like it's going to be used for the sim now. I think it'll be okay. So this turned into a major disaster last night. I tried to have these wheels attached, and when I bear down with my weight, there's just no way that one bolt and these L brackets are enough to withstand. So I kept twisting and buckling, driving me insane. Then I'll be trying to tighten the bolts up, and they'd spin because they aren't correct for this extrusion. And I was just generally having a bad time. So I've been to Bunnings. More cut that I need. I've got some wheels that have got 4 holes in them. I'm hoping if they bolt in the right spots, they're actually going to brace up the framework, and it should go a bit better. I've also got some, hopefully these truss bolts will lock into the extrusion properly. So luckily these truss bolts with their square shanked section are a perfect fit. No more swearing and tearing the head of the bolt through the aluminium. Hopefully. You can see what happens when I over tighten the bolts. They pull straight through the channel. It's lovely. So after changing configuration about 10 times, basically going mad, I finally came up with a solution to mount the seat. I've got some draw runners from Bunnings. I was going to mount them on the inside before, but it was being problematic. And I found that they seem to work pretty well holding load vertically, so well, I've pretty much completely destroyed the whole shed, but I've got it. I've got a sim. I've got junk absolutely everywhere. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and this is what happens. I've had to pull this apart about 10 times, I reckon, rearranging it. But all I've got to do now is a little bit of wiring, probably something to stop the seat from moving by itself. But let's go over a bit of an overview. First of all, that big problem I was having with these bolts spinning in these slots, I solved that. Coach bolts, already went over that. But the problem with that is, if you want to add a new one in there or get one out, you've got to pull the end off and slide a new one in, and backwards and forwards, yada yada yada. I decided to just use the Logitech pedals for the moment. It was easier. I looked at the firewall for the S13 and it was going to be way too much work to mount those sorts of pedals into it. And I just added some copper and some cable ties to stop the top side of the pedals moving around. Those pieces there are like solar panel frame tilt legs. Actual whole frame's not Unistrut, it is just solar panel framing. It's all surplus aluminium. I think every single piece of aluminium has been salvaged from the scrap bin at work. We've got handbrake mounted, shifter there. Don't know if everything's in exactly the right spot, but it's definitely a good start. Very happy. We've got the inverted draw runners, or the side mounted draw runners running here. Seat sort of moves. I think I'll put a proper seat rail on that eventually, but for now, I'd say I'm pretty happy. So I'll wire it up and then drag it in the house. Okay, so it's the moment of truth. Hooked up to the computer, a few cable ties, lots of cable ties everywhere, holding everything together, exposed bits that I'm going to break later on and swear about. We don't worry about that. See what we've got. Arduino Micro. It's going to be the handbrake. Let's see what happens. So we've got handbrake. How about the actual wheel? It's there. Ooh. Hard to see, but the wheel's moving that. Gears selecting. Clutch. It's moving the clutch. And we've got brakes moving the brake. Throttle moving the throttle. Here it is, finally inside the house, set up. It's working fairly well. I've had a bit of a go just with the base install of Assetto Corsa. The seat works reasonably well, slides backwards and forwards on those rails. You can get in and out from there without being stuck, which I was a bit concerned about. The handbrake, a bit close to the knees. Didn't have too much trouble with it other than I had to have a USB, 2-port USB hub. Put it in, it's down here somewhere in the darkness. And the cable, I've got to do something more about that because it's a bit of a messy setup. That's the worst part about this. Pedals, everything works fine, feels good. It helped with my lap times. It seems to be helping with the drifting, although I think this Logitech wheel, I can't see it lasting. It doesn't feel very solid. Anyway, that's a good start. Additionally, something I found that was really cool was this pad rips out of the seat, and then I dug out an Aura interactive cushion, and believe it or not, that will jam in there perfectly. So in the sim, everything works as expected. Knee is a bit close to the handbrake, and I need to get a bigger wheel, and I need to sort of put the handbrake here and the gear shifted down here further, but it'll come in time. But yeah, it's all working. Seating position is pretty good, and it could be a tiny bit higher, but it's not too bad. Turn the field of view up a bit, and now you actually have to turn your head a bit to look around the track. Otherwise, yeah, it's all working pretty well. Oh, I said, of course, it isn't 100% happy with the interlaced mode that I'm running on this, but it does seem to work. The handbrake's working. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Now, I'd like to say that all of this is finished, but it's not. I'm already not impressed with the wheel. I'm definitely looking at direct drive wheels, but that's way too expensive, even to build one. I'm looking at some 1000 watt 48 volt DC motors that I can use with the MMOS controller, and that should allow me to run a bigger wheel and something a bit better than this toy. It's horrible. It's horrible. I'm going to muck around with the LUT files and see if I can get it a bit better, but not impressed with it. Also thinking about changing the load cells a little bit. I think 20 kilos isn't quite enough. Then finally, someone mentioned I should get on a Techno Parrot with this. I have a feeling that's going to be the end of my life, but with quite a bit of fun seeing it's a CRT projector, and I've got all the controls to do it now. So this is my excuse for the moment as to why I haven't been doing much work on my car, apart from being broke. Although I have spent a bit of money on this, it hasn't been huge. So yeah, hopefully, even though this isn't directly related to my car, it will improve my ability to drive it and not put it into the wall of Baskerville again when I finally get it going. Cheers.